Hey guys, it's Missy Wolf, and I'm here with Sarah Darling. How are you tonight?
Doing fantastic. I'm so glad to be here.
I'm glad that you're here, and I'm so glad that we are both wearing our stars.
We got the star memo.
Yes, we did. And
Yes.
I'm so stoked though, because I saw you walk in, and I was like, oh my gosh, that is the cutest dress ever.
Thank you. I saw your outfit and I was like, this girl, we're friends. We're gonna be friends.
Right?
Yes.
Right? Well, it's been funny too, because today, I mean, just everywhere we've been walking, we've seen so many people wearing stars and stars and
Really?
stripes all day today, and it's just like, was there really a memo that was passed out? And you know, I don't know.
Maybe the stars are like
Aligned.
Aligned. Yes,
Ooh.
I like it.
Well, we did have a
Good
full
song
moon this
title.
week, right?
Yes, that's true. That's very true.
Fun. I know. I'm sorry, I'm like all adjusting. My chair's all squeaky and it keeps spinning
Well,
on me,
good.
you guys. I'm like, wow, I'm going to end up in her lap next if I move anymore. So let's talk about your music. I heard you rehearsing just now. You have a really beautiful voice. And
Thank you.
Jolene, I'm like, are you going to sing that tonight?
I'm totally working it up right now.
Are you?
So yeah, I'm totally singing
Okay.
it tonight. Yeah.
Now, they're not going to know that you know, because this is going to be aired later, but oh my gosh, so we're not spoiling any surprises right now for the audience, but I am in love with your version. I'm in love with it.
Thank you.
I'm
It's kind of, you know what, Jolene is such an amazing song, and it's so sad.
It
It's
is.
so incredibly sad. So I make my version so sad,
You-
which is perfect because
No.
you know it's like it's. I feel like it's just a different interpretation of an
Absolutely.
amazing doll. Oh my gosh, Dolly Parton is my favorite.
Right. I just interviewed Stella Parton, her sister. Have you heard her music too?
I have not.
Oh, she's great, and she loves the whole rockabilly stuff too. But such sweet woman, and so talented. But you are so super talented too,
Thank
and
you.
I'm so excited to watch you go out there and watch you play live.
Thank
and
you.
we're getting a good crowd down there.
I know it's been fantastic, and yeah, it's such a great CMA Fest too. So many
It really
people.
is. Everybody this year has been saying that this year's CMA Fest just seems so much different and so much happier and more alive. And maybe it's the whole Predators thing because the Nashville Pride is happening, right?
Yes, I feel like Nashville is just rallying around the Nashville Predators. We want them to win, and they're going to do it. I have a good.
I have a good
vibe.
feeling. I have
Good
a real good
vibes.
feeling too. Absolutely. And I mean, just the city is alive right now. It's so vibrant.
It
It's
is.
just so much going on.
It's so hard to describe if you've never done this before.
Yes.
When I was 17 years old, I came to Nashville from Iowa for my very first CMA Fest with my parents, and I absolutely had like a ball in Printer's Alley. I was like singing in all the clubs, and I fell in love with
Absolutely.
Nashville because of CMA Fest.
Yeah, and I mean, it's so incredible. Where else can you go where all of your artists, everyone that you love is there, and all of these fans are amazing, and you meet so many new people and new faces, and you get to know them, and it's just great, the relationships that are made here.
For me, being able to connect with my fans once a year, and these are people from all over the world, I've realized that country music it's everywhere. That it's
It
a
is.
universal language that I'm so thankful that I get to be able to tell my
Yes.
story. But country music is beautiful, and it's CMA Fest is that chance to connect with those fans that bring their photos back, and from the year
Yes.
prior, and it's really special.
You're the
Very-
first one that's brought that up.
It's really, I just signed several, there's a woman who has every year that I've actually played at CMA Fest, she has a photo of me and she's like collecting them on
Oh,
one
wow.
sheet. That's really special. It really is.
That's really, really fun. And what was it like for you to hear that story and to realize that she was doing that?
It first off, for me being a performer, I do it for the fans. I think the older that I get, there's this realization that yes, I love doing music and writing music, but really it's the connection that I make with people when I go out and play
Right.
that is the most meaningful part of what I do. And
That's awesome.
yeah, and no matter where I'm playing, it could be, a small gig, big gig, I think they all matter.
They do. And sometimes the best shows are when they are the smallest, most intimate shows.
Absolutely.
I mean, the fans have spoken on that so many times with us that they love it because they feel a connection to the artist. They feel like they can relate to them, that the artist is singing to them and is interacting with them personally. And it really is a beautiful thing to watch. And, us here on the outside, we get to film a lot of it and capture some of these moments, which is so much fun. But when you're on stage, do you really look out into the crowd and see everything that's going on? Because I imagine that you've seen some amazing moments take place too.
I have. It's funny. The very first time I played the Grand Ole Opry, Vince Gill introduced me, which was a magical. I can't even believe I'm actually saying that.
Right.
But I remember him saying something to me that really struck a chord. Like, sometimes you go out and you perform and you don't remember the moment. But he's like, go out there, you know, if you're nice to the crowd, they'll be nice to you. And I remember that. It's kind of stuck with me. So when I think it's good to look in people's eyes and connect, especially with my new album, Dream Country. A lot of the music's about chasing a dream and, like, you know, keeping the light in your eyes and following, you know, your own kind of path and your own lane and your own star. And that's what's so amazing about, you know, if you're able to connect with somebody, then they can leave that show saying, you know what, she's saying that to me, and I feel special.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like when an artist will be singing a song and then they point. They point right at you. Right? And everybody who's there, oh my God, he pointed at me or she pointed at me. And everybody feels the same thing. And, you know, and that artist really was pointing at everyone. It wasn't just one person in the crowd. It's the entire crowd. They're pointing at all of us. And it's fabulous. So I love that you get to interact and that you see that with your fans.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's great. And so your new music, let's talk your new music. How excited are you about
Very
everything you have going
excited.
on?
Yes, it's called Dream Country. It's like almost the best way to describe it is it's country music that's it's very dreamy. It talks about the stars, subjects that maybe you don't hear in country music at the moment, but it's stuff that I grew up in, you know, a little farm town in Iowa, and I used to dream about moving to Nashville, and there's something about the wide open spaces that I love writing about, and that's a general subject throughout the album.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, has your family been behind you, you know, 100% on your career?
Oh my goodness. My mother is my biggest cheerleader, and my grandpa was a huge fan. He's passed away now, and there's actually a song written about him, Haley's Comet, on my album that is written about him. But yeah, my family, you know, so supportive and
that's great
of me chasing my dreams.
That's great. Now, what would you say if your grandfather was here now? You know what I mean? What would you say to him about how the fact that you follow your dream? What would you say to him?
He was so funny. He would like call me up and be like, "You got to be aggressive. You know, if you want it, you got to go out there and get it." And it's funny because like that, like little saying goes through my mind all the time. And I'm somebody that fights. I'm a fighter, and I think if he were here right now, I think he would just be like, you're doing it. You know, you're like kind of making a way and a path. And I think being an independent artist, it's really tough work, but it's also so satisfying when you get to make music that you really love, put it out in the world, and just work hard.
Absolutely. Well, the rewards that come with being able to execute your own creativity on your projects. Yeah. That is amazing. I mean, being able to be true to yourself and what you want.
Absolutely. I felt like I really got to do that on this album, and it was so fulfilling. And even now, you know, people who've been my fans forever, we can tell this is really you. Yeah. And of course, all the music is really me. I find that it's you're on a journey, right? And you're finding yourself, you know, the whole way.
Right. So, do you like to look back on the beginning of your journey and reflect on what it's taken you to get to where you are and the differences that you had on this album versus maybe where you first started singing?
I do. I love looking back, and I embrace it wholeheartedly. I think the wrong thing to do is to not embrace it. Mm-hmm. I think you should be like, you know what, I did that, may not do it again, but you know what, it makes you who you are. And I think the character that it builds, you know, I feel like some of the best moments in my life were when I was writing songs and waiting tables, you know, playing in Nashville. You know, I mean, those were good days in my life.
Are there any songs that you've written that are so meaningful to you that you have a hard time singing them on stage without getting emotional?
Yes. I have one that is called Knowing What I Know About Heaven. I wrote it, and a gentleman named Guy Penrod, who is a gospel singer, actually cut this song. But it's written about my grandfather, and the whole premise is really, you know, why would you want to bring somebody back when heaven is, you know, they're walking the streets of gold. And it's just a really touching song, and yeah, and I think that's the hardest one for me to get through live now.
I imagine so, but honestly, I'm so glad you mentioned that song, because do you know how many people forget that part? They want their loved ones back. They want them here. And what they don't realize is their loved one is in a much better place, and they're waiting for us.
Exactly.
And, you know, and it's hard for me. I mean, when you've lost, you really do. You'd give anything for that one more hug, that one more touch, that one more piece of advice in your ear, you know. But to get you through it, thinking about that, so you have a song that's just that. It's reminding us.
It's exactly the reminder that yes, you're gonna miss them, but you know, they're in a better place. So
Absolutely.
I have a version out, but Guy Penrod also has a version. It's really beautiful. And it's the song, actually, what's funny is on YouTube, and it's the most YouTube hit song I've ever had of everything I've done. And I think I love that there's a song that heals people's hearts. And that's quite wonderful for me.
Absolutely. Music is a great tool for healing.
Definitely.
It really is. It's just, it's that gateway. It just opens up your heart to be able to heal.
Absolutely.
More, you know, and sometimes you got to feel more pain before you can heal.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I that's my experience.
Darkest
anyway.
before the dawn sometimes. Yes.
Right? Absolutely. So what else do you want to tell fans? Because I know I kind of sidetracked a little bit on some stuff.
No, we had fun though. It was good. I think, you know what, right now I'm working on new music. So I'm in the songwriting zone at the moment, but I'm touring all summer. I'll be touring both in Europe and here in the U.S. And I've been going over to Europe for the last couple of years. Country music's becoming a really big deal over there.
It really is.
And so I'm going over there, and it's been really, really fun. So just follow my journey on social media, which is fun. And I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
Do your fans message you quite a bit?
Yes, they do.
I figured they would, because you have such a warm, glowing personality that I don't I wouldn't. Well, you do, and you're very sweet. You're very honest, very real, and open. And I imagine that those fans just are drawn to you because of that, because of those qualities.
Thank you. That's
you're
very
so
sweet.
welcome.
Very
You're
sweet.
So welcome. All right, so they can find you on social media.
Social media, official Sarah Darling on Facebook, @ Sarah Darling on Twitter.
Perfect. You heard her. Check her out. And you know what? For those of you who might be struggling with some loss or some grief at home, check out her songs. She's got some great, powerful messages within those lyrics. So stay tuned for more from her. She's got more coming up. And until next time, guys, see you soon.